We are live, ready to go. Welcome, everyone. Let's get this thing going here. Tonight, we want to welcome Jason. First of all, let's make sure, can everybody hear us? Let's make sure. If you just type yes over in the chat box on the right, just to double check and make sure.
I can.
All right. Okay, we're good. Okay, so yeah, as I was talking to everybody, I was kind of talking about some of the things, just having you, some of the things that you've done for me. I mean, the coaching and the stuff that you've brought to me. I love your sales approach. I love what you're going to teach us tonight, and really got kind of excited. We've got a bunch of folks on the call tonight, and yeah, I just told them, with this script, and guys, when I say that I got into a national firm, a regional firm, and 2 local firms, that actually wasn't me setting the appointment. That was a VA who wasn't all that great using the script that he made, helped me, put together. And it was for, somebody asked what was it about. It was offline marketing. It was for deal sites and for SEO, website design, and those types of services. And so it was. We put together a script that really got through the gatekeeper and into the decision maker, and got them to set an appointment with me. I've put together so far 3 proposals, and I've got 2 more to do yet tonight, and follow-up closes here probably tomorrow and Monday. So it's been a really good week for me. I really enjoyed it, and that's all thanks to the gentleman that you see sitting here, who looks like my brother. Jason is here tonight to share this with us. I'm really excited about it. And so without any further ado, we'll turn this over to Jason. I appreciate you all being on the call. And Jason, I really appreciate you taking your time out. I know you said you stayed home sick today, so I appreciate you taking the time to come out and to be with us here tonight, and to share a little bit of your expertise and your knowledge with us. And so we'll get started. Folks, if you have any questions as we go along, just put them in the chat box over there on the right. And as we go through, if you see me, doing this number, I'm half blind, so I'm squinting to see what y'all are typing in there. And so, well, with that, without any further ado, Jason, thanks so much for being on the call, and I'll turn it over to you and share with us what you got to teach us tonight.
Okay. Well, I wanted to do something different for Brad's webinar. I appreciate being invited on. And what I thought I'd do is give away some of my proprietary content that's part of my WSO content. So normally people pay for this stuff. And I wanted to give you a chance, since many of you are affiliate marketers, to see a little bit about what I bring to the table and what clients and customers of mine get, I guess. And also at the end to give you the the opportunity to see the whole thing for yourself, for a very minimal investment. So, but for now, I wanted to talk about the fear of making calls. And what this is called is, it's termed call reluctance. So what we're going to do is talk about overcoming call reluctance and what happens and why it happens. So I'm going to switch to my presentation here, and hopefully this thing will grab my whole screen here, and I can get started. And we're just going to wait for a second. And please, if you have any questions on the way, like Brad said, please type them in. I'm more than happy to take a shot at answering them afterwards. If you hear me stopping to take a sip of my Diet Lime Coke here, that's what I'm doing. So let's see how this goes. Can everybody see this? Brad, I guess you can tell me whether this is coming across or not. All right, so if I could get a little feedback on whether this screen is displaying to you.
You, but I had my mic on mute.
Okay,
Make it a little bit bigger. I was going to tell you to just leave it up. When you had it, you had it perfect, and then yeah, because when you shut it down, for some reason it resizes. So
this is as big as it can get.
Okay.
But
let's try it again.
All right. Likes to keep downloading instead of just opening. Magic is happening.
It's coming.
It's like
had a few more people pop in. Hello, everybody.
Good. Okay. I couldn't resize it last time, but we'll see how it goes.
Okay, let's see what we got.
So how is that? On this, it says it's my
there we
whole
go.
screen. Okay.
Yep.
So
Yep.
cool.
There we go.
All right. Good.
Looks good.
So you're in the right place. I'm in the right place. That is me, Jason Kanigan. And what we're talking about is call reluctance. It kills businesses because people get afraid to call and they just shut down. And this is not exclusive to newbies to calling. It certainly affects people who have experience. And, you know, it's funny because when I started out doing sales training, I thought I'd get the majority of my clients to be mid-level, you know, had been in sales of 2 or 3 years and realized they could have made a lot more money with this if they had a little more skill. But it turns out I've got two types of clients on either end of that. One, the total newbies who have no experience, and then the other side are the 20-plus year veterans who are stuck on something and they need me to kind of go in there like a doctor and sort of figure out what it is that's blocking them and sort of bring that out into the light and figure out what to do with it. So it's not just newbies who experience this. This is one of my ads that I use. We'll click to move past it. What can we do about it? Well, what happens here is that there are certain numbers. There's two sets of numbers that I'll teach you tonight about calling that are really important. And if we don't know about these numbers, we're in trouble because we're going to start taking the results personally. So we're going to learn about what this irrational factor or fear is that stops us from calling, and we're going to learn an effective technique to get past that and also figure out how to practice some effective calling techniques until they become like a martial arts student, a quick reaction. First time you do it, you know, you're probably going to mess it up. That's okay. It's like learning to say a word that you're unfamiliar with, right? It's going to take a few repetitions until you realize, wait a minute, I could have said it that way. I could have used this technique. Wait, okay, I'll try it. And then it becomes a natural reaction, a trained reaction. So we want to get right into the reality of calling. And the reality of calling is true for everybody. It's true for Brad. It's true for John Durham, if you know him from the forum. It's true for me. It's true for you. It's true for your mom and your next door neighbor. There's these two numbers that we want to keep in mind. First, half the people you call will not be in. I don't know where they are. Maybe they're sick today like I was, or in a meeting or training, or you know, hanging around the water cooler complaining. You know, we have no idea. Maybe they've just put their phone on do not disturb and are concentrating on actually getting some work done. So you think about this though, if you call and half the time people don't even answer the phone, it's very easy to start taking this as rejection and taking it personally, right? This is where the problem really starts. If we don't know this number, we're going to take half the feedback that we're getting as some sort of hurt to us, some sort of pain. Ow, I don't want to do this. It keeps hurting. The other number that I want you to remember is that half the people who pick up the phone cannot actually talk to you right now. And you might say, well, why on earth do they answer the phone if they can't talk? And the answer is really tied up in their reality, their world. They are overcome and concerned completely with some problem of theirs right now. And I'll give you an example. If there is a restaurant owner who hasn't paid his gas bill, he's worried that any moment now, any hour now, the gas company is going to call and say, Mr. Restaurant owner, you haven't paid your bill, we're shutting your gas off. And this is a real consuming problem for a restaurant owner, because if there's no gas, there's no cooking. And I'm sure you can imagine if there's no cooking, there's no food going out, no sales. So it's a real problem. So he will answer the phone to find out if this is about that problem, the problem of this gas problem. But if it isn't, as soon as he finds out that that's not the issue, then he's gone. That's it. He's got to get back to running his business and trying to make some money so he can pay his bill. But again, if you don't know this, you're in trouble, right? Really, really in trouble, because this means, if you add it all up, 3/4 of your dials on average won't get to a decision maker who can talk to you today. Wow. Some people get depressed about this. Well, okay. Well, make more dials, you know. You're going to have to get out there and take some action. You could send 1 million emails, too, and get, 0.0001% conversion rate or whatever. But this is the reality of calling, and the takeaway from this that I want you to have is that it's not your fault. When you call and people don't answer, and then when they do answer, I'm too busy, I can't talk right now, that's already taken care of, whatever. They're not telling you really the truth. They're overcome by some problem that we don't know anything about. You didn't cause it. You have no idea what's going on over there before you called. No idea whatsoever. But if you don't know these numbers, the obvious temptation is to take it personally.
And I think, too, though, part of it is, in the back of my mind, I know all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But the reality of what I'm experiencing kind of takes over. I mean, yeah, in the back of my head, yeah, I know all those things. But my reality is, dang, I'm not getting a hold of anybody. And it does. It messes with your mind, with your state of how you're feeling about who you are and what's going on for the day. And, my gosh, if I don't get a hold of somebody, I'm not going to be able to feed my kid tomorrow.
Right. So we're going to look at a way of dealing with that. But if you didn't, most people don't even know these numbers. So they're really at the mercy of how they react to them. Now, if you know them and you know that it isn't your fault, you can keep going. It's not too bad. So that's what we got to. 3/4 of your dials on average won't get to a decision maker who can talk to you today. So that leads to this feeling of, we all know this one, I hate this, it'll never work. It's very, very strong negative emotion here. And there's two factors at play here. Adrenaline and these deafeningly loud negative emotional thoughts are what add up to call reluctance. They're just, these are what are attacking you. And again, we're not expecting to be shot full of adrenaline when we're making calls. And then this deafeningly loud negative emotional thought thing we're going to look at in a moment. What causes this? Well, it comes from this really old part of your brain. We call it the amygdala. It's down near the brain stem. It's down in the middle. It's one of the parts that first evolved, and that big mammal brain, that big left and right hemisphere and cerebrum and all that stuff that we think of as the brain, grew up around it later. And so this lizard brain is still down there, though, and it comes from a time when everything used to hunt and chase and kill everything else and eat everything else to survive. And we're not doing a lot of that today, right? So it's there, but it's also kind of a little bit outdated. And here it is here. We've got the amygdala here. It's kind of in this yellow part here. So this is our mammal brain up here, and then in here is your old lizard brain. So there it is. It can do two things. Its job is to keep you physically safe. It's to keep your body alive, and it does a pretty good job at that. But again, there's not a lot of that hunting and chasing and killing going on in our daily life. Yet under the surface, this is still going on, this thing. So it doesn't understand emotional danger or intellectual danger or anything like that. All it understands is physical danger. So if you think about the salamanders of the world, they're not writing poems to each other, right? And getting all worked up about how the other party will receive it. It's just running around trying to eat and survive. So it has two things that it can do to help keep the body safe and create quick reactions again. The first one is that it can shoot you full of adrenaline. It's got that adrenal gland nearby, and it can shoot you full of adrenaline, which is pretty handy when you're in that fight or flight situation. The second thing that it can do is fill your mind with very loud negative thoughts. And the reason it can do this is it's only got control over negative emotions. That's all it knows about is fear and hate and anger, disappointment, frustration, irritation, all that stuff. That's the language that it speaks. It doesn't know about love and hope and happiness. Those are mammal brain kind of thoughts and emotions. Most of the time, I think if you really pay attention to your thoughts, you're going to notice that these lizard brain thoughts do circulate around in your mind. They're there. Oh, you're going to burn those eggs. You forgot to take the trash out, you idiot, and you're going to get us lost driving down the road here if you're not careful. This stuff, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being pretty quiet and 10 being super loud in your head, is usually around level 2 to 4, I think, on the volume scale. Can't really get much higher. The mammal brain usually shuts it up. A little more intelligent thinking. But when you're in a stressful situation, and I think we'll all agree that sales can be pretty stressful, your lizard brain can act like it just got plugged into an amplifier, and suddenly that volume level of those lizard brain thoughts goes up to 10. And it's like light and dark. It literally pushes out every other thought in your head. You cannot think about anything other than, I can't do this, it's not going to work, what a waste of time, nobody wants to talk to me. And then you're done. If that lizard brain volume gets up to 10, that's it. Game over. You're going to go, crawl in your corner, and that's it. So, can we control it? What can we do about it? Well, if you could notice that your lizard brain volume was going up 6, 7, 8, 9, and intercept it and act in a way to start bringing that lizard brain thought volume back down 8, 7, 6, what would happen in your head? Well, the lizard brain thoughts would no longer totally dominate your thinking. You wouldn't be freaking out anymore. Your mammal brain thoughts could come back in, and some of these mammal brain thoughts are helpful. Like, gee, these prospecting calls, they've really sucked so far, but I hope if I keep doing them, they'll get better. There's a hope. Lizard brain doesn't know about that. That's a lot more conducive to continuing to make calls than lizard brain thought of, I can't do this, what a waste of time, right? So we want to think about this lizard brain. You see, if we don't know about this lizard brain and it takes over and it starts shooting us full of adrenaline, and you feel sick when this happens a lot of the time. I mean, if you've ever been shaking or sweating, feeling sick to your stomach, this is the same as performance anxiety that pro athletes feel before the big game. It's the same thing. And that is the lizard brain doing its work on you. There's an issue here, you see. I don't think the mammal brain understands selling. Selling is weird. And again, this is the sales trainer talking. So selling is really weird. It's this artificial thing, this system that's been grafted on top of reality. Nothing else on the planet is doing this. And the mammals aren't selling to each other. If you look at it, are Are the deer in the woods selling to each other? You know, I don't think so. The bears in the woods, are they selling things to each other? No. The birds, I'll give you 3 sticks for that button over there. It's pretty shiny. I don't know. I want 4. You know, that's not happening. And the salamanders and the fish and the lizards of the world certainly are. So if the mammal brain doesn't understand it, you know, the lizard brain just doesn't get it at all. And here you come along wanting to do some sales activity, and you pick up the phone, you start making prospecting calls. Your lizard brain goes, huh? I don't know what this is, but I sure don't like it. And the lizard brain is cautious, paranoid, cowardly by nature, because that's how you stay alive in a world where everything's trying to eat you. So, can you get killed on a cold call? No. But the lizard brain doesn't know that. Remember, it doesn't understand any other kind of danger other than physical danger. It thinks everything is out to kill you. So you got this lizard brain, it's worried about you. You're making prospecting calls, you make a few dials. For a newbie, 10, 12 dials. For a more experienced telemarketer, 40 to 60, somewhere in there, and bang, it happens. Start taking it personally. What the heck? People aren't answering the phone. And when they do, they're telling me, you know, I'm not interested. Wow. These are 2 basic fears, by the way, that I have encountered. I've taught people from all over the planet. I mean, I guess not in Antarctica, but taught people in Australia and Tasmania, Singapore, Hawaii, US, Canada, England, Denmark, Uganda, South Africa, all over the place. And it doesn't matter whether English was the first language of my client or not. Everybody had these same 2 fears. People will not answer the phone. This is a fear, remember. It's not necessarily reality, but we're afraid people won't answer the phone. And if they do, well, we're afraid that they won't be interested or want to talk to us or hear what we have to say. These are the 2 basic fears. And you can see it's right from the lizard brain. And it's tied right to these numbers. So, you call, nobody answers, nobody wants to talk to you, you start taking it personally, getting tough on yourself, feeling rejected, getting upset. Now we got a problem. Lizard brain says, wow, this is hurting us. It's making him uncomfortable or her uncomfortable. I don't want, you to keep doing this anymore, buddy. So you make a couple more dials. Once that initial feeling sets in, it's not too long before full-blown panic and freaking out really sets in, because the lizard brain's done its thing at that point. It made this decision. It's assessed the situation for survival, and it has decided, nuh-uh, we're not going to keep doing this. You're going to get us killed. And so it shoots you full of adrenaline and fills your head with deafeningly loud negative emotional thoughts. And you can't do anything. The thing the lizard brain wants is for you to be safe. So the thought process is kind of, well, if I stop you from making calls, you won't be taking any more action. And if you don't take any more action, we won't be taking any more risk. And then, therefore, we will be safe. And that's wonderful, except the lizard brain can't see into the future, not 1 second. It cannot. So it doesn't understand that, yeah, it might be sort of safe for right now, but if I don't make any sales, I won't have any money, and then I won't be able to pay rent or for my car or put gas in the tank or buy groceries. I'm really screwed. The lizard brain just doesn't see that. So it's really counterproductive here. And again, if you don't know what's going on, and why would you, before somebody like me has explained it? You're the slave of this lizard brain. It's going to push you around, and it's going to be in control. You're going to have these uncomfortable feelings and thoughts, and you're going to think it's you. It's not you. It's your lizard brain, and I hope you can see that now. It's this little piece of your brain taking over in this misguided attempt to keep you safe. So that's what's going on.
And what are the ramifications of that? I mean, aren't there some ramifications to, I mean, once you start down that path, I mean, doesn't that affect, I mean, that just kind of affects everything. How you approach a person, your demeanor, your tone. you know, it just kind of sets up the whole call. Once you actually do get somebody on the line, because you got this running around in your brain, it kind of sets up the whole call for failure.
Right.
Because you're kind of expecting it, right? I mean, is that true?
Yeah. Well, everybody, Brad's got some of my training. He's jumping ahead a little bit, which is fine. You were paying attention. No, it's cool. We probably wouldn't have gotten to that tonight, so that's okay.
Okay.
I think, you know, what I talk about in the other training is if you were on the other end of the call. Well, let's ask you, and you know, if you were receiving a call, would you rather do business with somebody who's confident and successful, or needy and grasping? Right? And that's what we're talking about right here. And I hope everybody said confident and successful. So would your prospects. They would like to do business with somebody who's confident and successful. So if you're all wired up by your lizard brain and freaking out, and the underlying message of your call is, oh my gosh, I got to get out of here, or I have to make the sale right now, I don't really care which, how do you think your prospect's going to react? And you got the other side where if you're calm and in control, you know, that comes across too. Okay, so can we control it? Yes, we talked about a way of intervening with our lizard brain before that volume level gets to 10. By then, it's too late. We have to get in early. This is what I'm better at than just about everybody else, okay? I've trained myself to do this. I didn't come out of the womb knowing how to do this. I got call reluctance early in my sales career too, and then I had to get training, coaching, and work my way out of it. Now I've learned some educational stuff and put this together and that to speed the process up. But when I sense this lizard brain stuff starting to happen, I kick back at it. That's it. No, you're not getting me. Right? So how do we do that? Well, first thing is by being aware that you've got this lizard brain and that it's wired to do that, and sales is weird and all that stuff, and the numbers that we talked about. You know, if you're aware of something, you can begin to change it, control it, you know, have an effect on it. So that's the first thing. Just being aware that it's not you, it's this rebellious piece of your brain that's you know, made a mistake on what it's thinking that you're doing and what kind of a situation you're involved in, and is trying to shut you down. The first thing we're going to do and I recommend you go somewhere to be alone for this, because it can be kind of funny if you're not. But I want you to say out loud, you got to do the little sigh, it's important. I'm financially independent and I don't need the business. You need to say this out loud. I actually say it before I make any calls. Usually I only have to say it once, and then I'm off for my day. But you got to remind yourself, I'm financially independent and I don't need the business. Okay. And this might seem like some kind of mumbo jumbo. You got to work with it for a while. There's a lot tied up in this statement. Okay, and I'm going to go into just two things that are in this statement. Well, the first one we actually already covered, which was when Brad brought up how it messes with your subconscious and the whole demeanor of your call to you know, stay on the track of the lizard brain and you know, keep going in that direction. Is people would rather do business with people who are confident and successful. So, you know, the other side of that is if you're in control and you've reminded yourself, you know, I'm financially independent and I don't need the business, and that's the underlying tone of your call. I'm over here, I've got expertise, I'm probably able to help you. If you want to talk about it, we can. If you don't, please let me know as soon as possible so I can move on to my next call. That's your underlying message. And people get that, and it makes them lean into the conversation. They want to know what you know, rather than the needy and grasping type. And the second thing is that, and this is the hard part for people to get, it's the biggest mistake that I have seen new and experienced salespeople make, and it's that they want to turn everyone they talk to into a client or a customer. It's a huge mistake. We do not want 100% of prospects to become clients or customers. And I can hear some of you now, you know, I had the same thing. I go back to my trainer and say, what do you mean? You say you don't want everyone as a client or a customer, but you don't really mean it, right? Well, yeah, I do, but it took me about a year working with this until it sunk in, and I'm totally open for you to have an epiphany in a faster time. Brad, you want to say something?
I was just going to say that a lot of times that statement, people are like, yeah, but I got to have, it's like when you've had that client from there, you begin to understand that. I mean, they chew up so much of your time, they take up so much of your time. You really don't want everybody. And again, it goes back to that that mindset. Pam Epinette shared mind movies with us on a previous webinar, and just this idea of training your brain to think in a certain fashion, it affects every area of your life. And in this particular, what you've taught me to do, it makes that difference. When you haven't made a sale that day and you got bills coming due and you're in that desperation mode, if you don't grab a hold of it, that desperation is going to come through to your client, and they're like, man, that's not a person I want to do business with. They obviously can't do very good because they're desperate to have me for a client.
At the very least, they're going to try and squeeze you on price.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the very least. Okay. So the kind of illuminating or visual that I like to use to explain this idea, we don't want everybody for a client or a customer, is I'm sure everybody's watched a scary movie in their life, one of these Hollywood horror movies where there's some kind of a killer wandering around out there with an axe or something, and every so often a character runs afoul of them, and that's the end of them. What if one of these guys was at the door of your home and knocking on the door? Would you let them in? I'm sure everybody would say no. Well, what if they were really polite? So they're knocking. Hi, it's me. It's the killer. I brought my chainsaw and my hockey mask, and I'd like to come in. All I really want to do is just cut off your head real quick, and I won't make a big mess. I'll shut the door on my way out, and I'll be on my way. So could I just come in for a quick sec, please? Would you let them in now? And I hope still that the answer is no. Nobody said yes yet on my coaching calls, so that bodes well for society, I think. But the point here is that if you let some of these people in, these prospects in, who seem polite, they will act just like one of these Hollywood horror movie killers and start hacking and slashing away at your business. They will eat up your time and your energy because you're going to be fighting with them all the time, or at least dealing with every single revision to their website that they want, in the thousands. What if you have an argument with them and they tie up all your money and they're your biggest customer, right? They don't pay you. Now you got a problem. And then they're bad-mouthing you to everybody that they can run into, and hurting your reputation. We don't want that. So, if you look down your client list in 6 months or something, and there's a couple of Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th and a Michael Myers from Halloween and 2 Leatherfaces from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and a couple of other bad guys blinking back at you, you got a problem, right? Keep that image in your head. You want to avoid that. So that's why we don't want every prospect to become a client or a customer. And that is tied up in that statement. I'm financially independent and I don't need the business. Okay. It is the most powerful thing that we can do to kind of put our shoulder against the door from the lizard brain trying to get out. The second thing we're going to do is I want you to imagine that you're a radio station. And I'm sure all of you have seen a picture or a drawing of a radio station. It's got that big tower antenna. And the signal comes out from the top. It goes out in all directions. And it doesn't discriminate, does it? Anybody out there in the field with a receiver tuned to the right frequency can pick up that signal. And so if you're that radio station and you're broadcasting, what are you broadcasting? Well, you're broadcasting value, and that comes from your expertise. And, you may think, well, I don't really know much about mobile website design or whatever. You know something about it. Okay, you have to know something. You have some expertise in some field, and that creates the value that you're broadcasting. You can't turn this thing off. It's broadcasting all the time. As soon as you reach out to try and have a conversation, try and do a quote for somebody, sit down and have coffee with them, find out what's going on in their world, and you're trying to share value or do some work, that's it. You're broadcasting value. And you can't lose it. It's not a set of car keys. Whoops. Left my expertise at home, everybody. We're going to have to wait, until I go home and get it. That doesn't happen, right? And I can't cut it off you and run away with it. It's just there. It's not located in any one part of your body, really. You walk into a room, it's like breathing. You've got your expertise with you. So, the next thing that I like to point out here is that people can't even tell you that you didn't bring your expertise, right? You brought it, whatever you've got, even if it's 2% or something. They can tell you're an idiot and you don't know what you're talking about, but you still brought what you got. You brought it to the table, and they cannot say that you didn't. Whatever it is that you got, you broadcast this value all the time. You're always bringing it. And the third thing that I want you to do, and again, this would be a good idea to go out of the room and be by yourself, but I want you to confront your lizard brain. Talk to it directly. We're going to say something like, "Thanks, lizard brain, but I don't need you today. If I do what you want me to do, I'm going to be in trouble, right? I'm not going to make any money. So I'm just going to keep making calls. Thank you very much. I don't need you today." And the combination of these three things, I'm financially independent, I don't need the business, reminding yourself that you're in control, you're broadcasting value, you're that radio station broadcasting value wherever you go, whatever you do, and directly confronting the lizard brain and putting it on notice that you know that it's the one that's trying to mess with you and not really what you want to get as an experience out of this situation. It will turn that lizard brain volume down if you've caught it in time before it gets to 9. So I would hit back, and I do hit back at it as soon as it starts acting. If it gets up to 4 or 5 or whatever, I'm on it. Okay. Any questions about that? Let's see if there's any questions about the lizard brain for now, and then I'll quickly go into an idea of how to make calls so that it doesn't hurt.
I don't see any questions.
Nothing yet? Okay. All right.
I will say this, though, because I know people say, well, I can just say that in my mind. What is it about saying it out loud?
Makes it real. It really makes it real. And you hear it. It's not just in your head. Okay.
So somebody says, where is the lizard brain? I guess they missed that that slide.
Yeah, there's a slide here. It's down, buried down near your brain stem. You can look it up.
Yeah, it's the amygdala. I remember that because of Waterboy.
The medulla oblongata. That's another thing.
Or whatever. Yeah. So it's that part of the brain. It's and it really is. It's the instincts. It's the thing that causes you to react without thinking. I mean, it's that reaction, just to protect you. And we all have it. And trust me, mine kicks in real good when I start cold calling. So.
Yeah. Well, you know what to do. So I want to quickly share with everybody, what do you do then if you know that half your dials on average aren't going to get to anybody, or it won't be answered, and then half of the people that do answer on average won't be able to talk. And the first thing I want you to do is remember that these are averages. So today from 9 to 10 o'clock we could have called 20 dials. Let's say we could have made 20 dials and talked to nobody. And that's just how it turned out today. Tomorrow we could call from 9 to 10, it's the same hour, and make the same 20 dials and talk to a dozen of these people. And you'll be all happy and satisfied, just strutting around. And then the thought might strike you, wait a minute, why did I do so well on Friday and then, Thursday was terrible? What's the difference? And the answer is nothing. That's just how it turned out today. And so we need to keep this in mind. Now, moving on to how do you break into a market? I mean, here's the biggest problem. One of the larger problems that I've seen. I guess the biggest problem is trying to sell to everybody. The second problem that's huge that I see is trying to sell today, being desperate to sell today. I got to make a sale today. With these numbers, it's probably not going to happen. Okay, you might get lucky. If you make enough dials, you probably will sell something, but most people give up well before that. So how do you do it? How do you break into a new niche or a market? What I recommend is calling 2 hours twice a day, first of all. I don't like this whole telemarketing, make 100 dials thing. That's scary. I don't know how long that's going to take. What if you make 2 dials and they're 20-minute calls each somehow, and 98 more to go? Geez, it's going to take me 10 more hours. That's frightening. I don't want to do that. So 2 hours twice a day is going to get you where you need to get to at the beginning. You can cut this time down as you get more successful and get business from referring customers and networking and things like that. But at the beginning, you got to do these consistently. It's like training for the Olympics. I don't care whether you're feeling like it today or not. If you want the results, you've got to go do it. So anytime from 8 to noon, and then about 1:30 onward is okay. But wait till 1:30 because people dribble in back from lunch, and that first half hour, 1 to 1:30, just isn't really very effective. I've also found that just for some reason around 3:30, just about every day that I've been calling around that time, I'll have a good conversation with somebody. It might not be a sale, but it'll be a nice conversation where you feel that you had a good, help somebody or got somewhere. Oh, yeah, that's
one of the things that I wanted to interject here, which has really been my whole purpose behind creating this series, is just really the nuts and bolts of what to do to take my business to the next level. How do I get there? And I know personally from what I've done in my own life, it is so easy as an offline marketer to be so busy working on my website, getting this thing done, checking my emails, doing, just all this myriad of things that I have to do, that, I'll get to cold calling tomorrow. What I'm saying, and what you were saying there, you have to set aside, if you're not doing any right now, set aside 2 hours in the morning or try 2 hours in the afternoon. Do it, set aside that time. 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the afternoon. Do your other stuff around it, But if you don't make that concerted effort and say, okay, I'm going to not look at my emails, I'm not going to look at my Skype, I'm shutting it all down, and this is my time to make my phone calls, it's never going to happen. Sometime or other, you got to pick up the phone. You got to call those people. I know all these WSOs. You never have to make a phone call. They're just gonna come knocking at your door to beg you for business. And I really haven't found one of those yet. Have you, Jason?
That work?
No. That they just. I don't know.
The only WSOs I buy are from. They've got to be from a name that I really know and trust from their content on the forum, and I usually buy it for a slice of something. That's it. Right. A little technique. I might pay $20 or $50 to get one technique about how to write a better Craigslist ad or something like that.
Right.
But no.
Exactly.
And even with the Craigslist ads, it's still consistent effort, and you have to learn some techniques because it's. The writing is one thing, but then the posting's another. So there's no escape from work, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But how effective are you? But setting this time aside is really important. And even if 2 hours a day is what you can do, that's okay. But the consistency is key, and here's why. especially when you get into a new market or a new niche, you're not going to get to talk to decision makers on day 1, 2, or 3, probably, right? With numbers like this, 3/4 of your dials aren't going to reach anybody. Okay. Well, thanks, Jason. I guess we might as well just quit. No. Okay. We've got to do something to make these numbers work to our advantage. And the answer is, first of all, we're not going to try and sell anything on day 1. Okay? We're not going to be desperate. We're not. Our goal is to have great conversations with people. Find out about their world. What problems are they really experiencing? Because that's the way to uncover qualify prospects, to show that, who should we show our solution to? That's how we do it. So, we need to understand that we're going to talk to gatekeepers a lot, especially on those first 2 or 3 days. Now, that's not very long. The week's going to go by, isn't it? Unless you drop dead of a heart attack on Tuesday, you're going to get to Thursday or Friday, right? And you're not really going to even remember what Monday and Tuesday were like, I'll bet you. Right? You're going to live your life. You're going to be there. So just work through that time of Monday and Tuesday. And here's what you do. You make your call. You use my little unsure technique, which you can find for free on the forum with recordings of me using it. I don't know any other sales trainer out there who gives recordings of them using actual techniques and live calls. Helps you turn the gatekeeper into an ally. And you get the name and a high probability time of when you can speak to the decision maker. So talk to Mary. Mary's the gatekeeper. Hi, Mary. Who's in charge of whatever. If you're using a script of mine, it'll sound a little different. I'm really not sure who would have that under their umbrella, marketing or something like that, right? Oh, that's Jerry. Okay, cool. Jerry's not in, is he? No, he's not. Oh, okay. Well, if you were in my shoes, is there a time that would be best, if you really had to talk to him, it would be best to call back? Oh, yeah, and they'll give you a time, 2:30 probably. Okay, great. But, and here's the second part. You've got to set up this upfront contract. But you won't be working them, will you? Oh, you will. Will you remember my name? Will you put my call through when I call back? And then you go to your Google Calendar, which is free, and you put that appointment in there for tomorrow. 2 o'clock, bam, I'm calling Jerry at this number. And you do a series of those. So, look at this. After a bunch of calls or over a couple of days, your calendar's filling up, isn't it? With high probability times of reaching known decision makers. This is good. So, you're priming the pump in the early part of the week. And that's why you can't let this go either. You have to continue to supply, a flow of leads into it. And you call back at those times and have that conversation. So here, the thing about selling is it's not what you do today usually that results in a sale. It's the thing that you started 7 to 10 days ago. So, I called, I talked to a decision maker, I got a time on Monday. Tuesday I called back, they weren't in. Thursday I called again, they weren't in. Monday the following week I called and they were in, and I was able to have this conversation with the decision maker. That's how it usually works. So this is why so many people totally fail at selling. They get in, they try and rush to the finish, and the numbers are against them. They don't know how to feel good about it. I mean, it feels pretty good when you call and talk to gatekeepers and start filling up your calendar with these times to call back. And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you're calling these people back. You're getting to have some conversations because the numbers are beginning to work for you. And during the times that you don't have anybody scheduled to talk with, you're calling new gatekeepers. So there's a flow to this, and it feels good. Any questions on that? I wonder if your mic is muted again, Brad.
For you to go over that again, but I'm like, no, he's got too much great content. Well, I'll get him the recording
they can listen to it again. They loved how you talked about the gatekeeper. But I tell you, Jason really talks about this this I don't know what you call it, the contract. Where you're
excellent contract. Yeah.
Yeah, and just that asking, and once you get over that, oh, I can't ask that. Yes, you can, and trust me, it works. Because when you point blank ask them like that, most of the time they're going to say yes, because they're thinking in their mind, well, gee, I don't want to sound like a jerk, okay, so they've agreed to it. Now they got to do it. So
well, nobody ever asked them before.
Right. Well, that's true too. Yeah, most people don't ask things like that, and so they're like, "Oh, okay, okay."
Here's the information. Okay.
Yeah, it works.
Cool. So, what do you want to do now, Brad? Do we have any questions to answer, or do you want to move into the affiliate things, or?
Are there any other questions here, real quick, folks? The one thing that I'm going to say, and I'll kind of set this up for you while I'm waiting to see if anybody has any questions. This whole concept that Jason teaches, I mean, this is just the beginning. This is just kind of the tip of the iceberg. But this whole concept is the consulting side of things. I run my own business. I can't tell you how many calls I get on a daily basis of people, trying to sell me something. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're trying to sell me something. And this whole concept is, because that only goes so far, and that will only get you so many sales. And trust me, it won't be that many, because that's what everybody's out there doing. And the type of consultative selling that Jason talks about is finding out what that person's problem is, and then finding out, do we have something that will help your pain? And when you can solve a person's pain, you'll get the sale. That comes along without saying. But if you're just trying to push that sale, you don't know if they need a mobile website. They may have a great mobile website, but they've got a problem with reputation management or whatever, And so if you go in there trying to sell them a mobile site, you're going to walk out without a sale. But if you go in there and find out what their problems are, you'll real quick find out, oh, they don't need a mobile website, but they've got this problem. Well, yeah, I can help them with that problem. And then you walk out with a sale. And so it's totally different. And the response that I get from people, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, this week, national firm, regional firm, and 2 local firms, I mean, it's been great. And that was really, as I talked to him, because that was an appointment setter, as I talked to him, that was kind of what I asked him. Well, why did you set this appointment with me? And he said, well, it was just kind of a different approach. And y'all sounded like, you really wanted to find out what my problem was, and that you might be able to help me, and I thought maybe you might. So that's why we're talking. And I mean, it worked out great. Let me see what the questions are here. Let's see. Oh, okay. Yeah, that was kind of what they were getting. What they were asking about. Can we talk about script creation? And I kind of gave a little bit there, and that's what you're getting ready to talk about, how we're going to work this and what we can do. So I'll turn it back to you on some of the stuff and what we can do.
All right. I guess. Well, I don't guess. I know. to be treated differently, you have to behave differently. You have to sound and act differently, right? First of all, so that's, and then you need to follow a consistent sales process. This is a big missing thing in a lot of careers. I think I was many years into selling before I realized I did not have a consistent sales process. I didn't know why I got some orders and missed others. I didn't know. And most of it I tried to do on the force of my personality and an intellectual problem solving. Can I throw enough features and benefits at them and hope that something sticks? And I never was comfortable with that style or method. So what we want to do with the script is find out what real problems or symptoms of problems that people in this niche are having. And if we get those, and especially if we can get these people to tell us them themselves, we've got gold. And that's why I say pick a niche and call it to death. If you're there's a tape measure on my desk. So if you're calling, you pick to call tape measure manufacturers, call that niche to death. Don't dump around. I don't want to hear you calling a bank and then a supermarket and then a nightclub and then a restaurant. No, pick one and call it to death, because once you have identified a couple of pain points that really work for that niche, those secret jargon-filled words and phrases will make every single business owner in that niche, listen up and pay attention to you. It gives you instant credibility. That's where it comes from. This person just said something in my language about a problem that just about everybody in my industry experiences. I'll bet they've helped somebody like me. Wow. What a great place to start from. What a different place from, compared to, well, my mobile websites do this and that. Who cares? Prospects don't care about that. They care about solving their problem, getting rid of what's keeping them up at night. So you may have seen on the forum, I've got a post up there that talks about how to begin a conversation, and that's great. That helps us sound different and be treated differently. And then what about after that? Well, there you need something called a 30-second commercial, and that's where these pain points appear, I guess. And then you follow it up with another upfront contract that pretty much takes the fear out of it for the prospect, and there's no stress there, so they let you talk for a little bit, and then you find out whether this is something that they want to talk with you further or not. I guess we'll move into, let me get my thing here. These are a couple special offers for this webinar only. Now, I know a lot of you are affiliate marketers, so I want you to get this material, my WSOs, for really next to nothing. I need you to invest something, not to make me wealthy, because it won't. I'm financially independent and I don't need the business, but so that you will work with it and pay attention to it. If you invest a little bit in it, it will have some value to you. So most of you know that my live coaching call, which is like 2 hours or more, is $297. If you want my recorded version, that's $77 right now, and the script WSO is $67 right now, and all very highly underpriced actually at those rates. I spent over $12,000 on my sales training, plus the years. I think it was about 4 years learning how to do this. So what I've given you here are a couple of options that are like dirt cheap. Like Rob was saying, I can't believe you did this, but this first one here is an hour of a live call with me, and you get that recorded call, plus some more recorded training, a recorded version of that WSO, and the script consultation, which comes with a bunch of videos. And what did we do with that? Is it like 97?
Can you put that? Yeah. Can you cut and paste those links into the chat box so they can actually just click on them?
I might, but I don't have the chat box visible here.
Oh.
I can do that, but I'll lose my screen sharing. But that's okay.
Yeah. Well, I have those somewhere. I should have. Here, let me just see if I can grab them. Hang on.
Okay. I'll continue to mention these. If you don't want the live one, or that's not in your budget, I really dropped this down to nothing. The recorded version plus the script consultation, that second thing, is just $37. It's, again, just enough to make you pay attention to it and do something with it. And on the next page, I've got affiliate links for my regular offers, so the 67, 77, and 297, and I happily give 50% commission on those. So these are the affiliate links, and either we can send them around or paste them in. I don't really have anything else in the screen sharing side of things, so I'll just go back to my camera.
Let's see here. Yeah, I should have had those ready. Let's see here. I think I actually created the... did I create my affiliate link on those?
I'm not sure.
Is that
I think you did.
Yeah.
So that's the one. Hopefully everyone can see that.
But that's not my affiliate link, is it? It's okay.
Oh, you're right.
That's okay.
Once you paste yours in. No, I think they're okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Let's put it this way. I mean, these are not open to the public.
Right.
Right. That's why so the only people who could possibly ever get there.
Yeah, we're fine. I'm cool with
insane people who go through page 77 of the WSO list.
And I got to be honest, like I told my guys the other day in the video newsletter, I need the affiliate commission so I can keep my stuff going. But you know what? I've got so many things going on right now. I'm here to help. That's what that's why I had wanted to get so many people on this call, is because I know the difference that this made for me, and just this whole concept, because we get so wrapped up in my company is called CC Studio for a reason. Our tagline is Carbon Copy Success, and I learned early on that anything can be learned if you take the time to learn it. And sales is a learned process. Web design is a learned process. Reputation management, whatever it is that we do, it's a learned skill. It's a learned process. And so, I try and surround myself with some of the best. It's amazing to me, the friends that I have literally around the world, that if I need something, I can call them up and say, hey, how do you do this? Or what do you do with that? And they'll give it back to me, and they just, depending on what it is, sometimes I got to pay for it, but other times they're just like, oh, well, here, let me, it just depends on what it is. But, this is a process that is so critical that we learn. And, Jason had actually gone through some sales training years ago like this. And I think some other training replaced it. But I remember back, it was like, yeah, this is, everybody else is out there selling. And the way you approach it, you're consulting. You're finding out what their pain is, and if you can solve it, you'll help them, Right. And without giving too much away, part of that contract deal, when you start the process, you're going to say to them, hey, I'd like to take a minute or so and talk to you about what it is that you do and that sort of thing. And if I've got something that I think could help and solve what you're experiencing, then we can talk. And if not, I appreciate your time. And it just sets that call up for people to let down their guard, to relax. Oh, he's not going to take 15 minutes of my time. And I don't know that I did that, exactly right. But, it's just that whole concept. I was just trying to get the idea across. That's the training that you get here. And, as far as the specials that he's got going right now, this is for my guys. It's a special deal that he pulled out. And, it's underpriced at the price that it's at on the Warrior Forum anyway. And then he kind of chunked it all together and said, "Here, I'll help your people out." So guys, this really is a good opportunity to get yourself with a sales coach that knows what he's talking about, that knows what he's doing, and hopefully you're gonna, if nothing else, take the stuff that you learned from this and walk away with some serious knowledge. But guys, at this price, you really need to take a serious look at what Jason's got. And what's as far as the affiliate program, Jason, you got some things going on there. I was kind of doing some other stuff. Did you? I was looking for that thing. Did you cover the affiliate program with them, or?
I did, yeah. Well, what I do is a regular 50% affiliate payouts. I do it right away, obviously. Um, there's three programs that I work with. One is a one-on-one live coaching call. That's 2 hours. I think if you haven't seen the testimonials on that, go and check them out. It's insane.
Yeah.
The recorded coaching package, which is very similar content, but on the one-on-one coaching call, the difference is I can tailor it, and it is a different experience.
Yeah.
Really, people really find it inspiring for them. And a few times I've had to throw out what I normally do, and when I'm working with a really experienced salesperson, and do something completely different. So that's always a neat thing to do. The script help and consultation one is the third option. What we do there is there's a bunch of videos that I made that explain the process and what we're doing, and then what I want from you or the purchaser. And then they get in touch with me by email, and we work it out by email. And I write their 30-second commercial, and they plunk it into this larger script that they get. And that's how that works. And that's how I'm able to keep my costs down, because when I make a script for a business, it's $1,000 or more, because they're going to make a lot of money with it. And here I'm able to kind of do what Yamaha does. With their music keyboards, they'll invest a lot of money and make a beautiful new feature for their high-end $20,000 or $3,000, whatever it is, keyboard, and then 2 years later they're able to put that same feature into the introductory, $300 model, because it doesn't cost them anything, right? And so that's how I'm able to provide the expertise at the level that I provide in the script help WSO, and that's the one that's included in these offers here as well. So if you want to work with me on that, once in a while I'll go on Skype for a little bit. The danger there is that people want to talk, and suddenly it's 2 hours of my time, right? And it becomes not very cost effective. So, but I'm
two questions here.
Yes.
The one asking about where are all these links, actually, folks, I know those are really long, but those are only 2 links. Okay, so those 2 links, there's the first one. Let's see, that first one is what? That's the one-on-one call.
Right.
Okay, the one-on-one call, the script, and the recorded training, and the second one is the recorded training and the script, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the difference. The top one there, it is just one link, even though it goes for about 5 to 10 different lines. That top one is for the 1-hour coaching call, the recorded training and the script writing, and then the second one is the recorded training and the script writing. Now, someone also asked. About ready to sneeze. Sorry about that. Somebody asked about outsourcing, and as far as the script. Basically, I'll tell you what I did, and then I'll let Jason answer that too. But one of the things that I did, he helped me write the script. We got the script writing. He helped me write the script, and it was a longer script. And basically, he helped me focus on that 30 minutes that's tailored to to what we're specifically doing. And then the recorded training, and basically I was able to, with my outsourcer, I just picked a couple of the recorded training calls, so that he could get the concept in his brain of what we were doing, the lizard brain, and just all of those things, to train my outsourcer on this specific type of selling. And he's got some great training, and so it was I was able to do that with my outsourcer. Now, the one that I didn't work out. We're looking for another one, but even with that, he was able to set me some really pretty dang good calls. So I mean, it definitely, man, it makes a huge difference. And now that I've got those 4 proposals done, come Monday, then I'm going to be on the phone, at least 2 hours a day. I'm going to shoot for 4, but depending on proposals and what else I got to do for customers and customer service and that type of thing, I've actually hired some outsourcers to handle some of that. So, I was growing too big. I had to actually bite the bullet and take care of some things. So that's been great. But as far as outsourcers go, that's what I did. Jason, do you want to address that a little bit?
Well, I work with people who have tried to outsource from the Philippines or get a VA, and there's nothing wrong with you taking the link that you get and the password if you purchase this package that I send you and giving it to your VA. I don't have a problem with that, right? Now, actually, I can't stop you, so it's okay. If I see like 400 views in one day, I'm going to get suspicious and I might shut it down.
Right.
But for the most part, if you've got onesies and twosies that you want to show this stuff to, then it's fine. Now, if you've got a friend who owns a business, and I hope you would send them the affiliate link.
Yeah, he can get his own.
Yes.
Somebody's asking, is that coaching? Is that coaching call? Is that live? I guess that's the first one, the one-on-one coaching.
Yeah, the $97 one. What we will do is go over in a personalized way the rest of the content, if you will, that we would normally go over on a 2-hour coaching call. Because what I gave you here in a slightly different organized way was some of the content that I would give on that live coaching call, and is in these WSOs.
Yeah.
So you got some of the goods tonight.
No, you really did, and I mean, I was just tickled to death to have Jason come and be able to share some of this stuff with us, and he really did deliver some of the goods tonight. And I appreciate that, Jason, a lot. But folks, at these prices, $97 to get all of his recorded training, to get his script the script written, plus 1 hour of his time for $97. He's really come off with a good deal for us, and Jason, I really do appreciate it a lot. Are there any other final questions here tonight?
Your chance. Don't miss it.
Last call.
Okay.
Jason, do you have any last comments?
Just to get it into your head, if you're going to make calls, to do it consistently. Don't try and say, okay, well, I'll do 10 hours of calling this day and then leave it for 2 weeks and then try and pick it up for 2 hours and then do a Hail Mary session. And it's got to be consistent. Yeah. You don't have to kill yourself. If you can do 2 hours twice a day, it's manageable, it's bearable.
Right.
Once you start calling, the first hour really blows by quick, and then by the time you're kind of getting tired of it, and so do I get tired of it by the second hour, but I look at the clock and I go, there's only 20 more minutes to go here. I can keep doing this with a smile on my face.
Yep. And it's critical, like he said, that you do it. I mean, this is the lifeblood of your business. If you don't do this, if you don't get this right, why are you doing what you're doing? You might as well go do something else, because this is the lifeblood of our business. I got some questions coming in here. Jason, they're asking for how to sign up as an affiliate.
Okay. Are you able to email that out to them later?
I can, yes.
I could paste the links in here.
Yeah, if you got them, go ahead and paste them in, and then I'll email them out to everybody too. But yeah, they need to know how to be your affiliate on this stuff. So
sure.
Let me look at the other.
I'm just going to grab these right now. First of all, you could go into Warrior Plus and look up Jason Kanigan in the tracker, and that will probably confuse you. You need to look at. I've got a bunch of old ones that I leave out there for offers like this. There's the first one for the $297 coaching call. Here's the one for the. I gotta manually paste these in.
Okay, and then I'll also email this out to y'all too. But so I mean, guys, realize this is a special deal for us. I mean, Jason has really hooked us up, and so I mean, this is something you definitely need to take advantage of. Now, let's see. Somebody was asking, will this script work in any niche?
Yes.
Or niche?
Of course.
And and I think I'll speak to that as far as the one-on-one coaching call. That's really great because he can tailor it to what you're doing with it. And then the script writing, at least that 30-second portion, he's going to tailor that to what you're doing too. So yeah, absolutely. And once you go through that, you'll see real quick, if you're doing 2 or 3 different things, how you can easily scale it and use it for whatever it is that you're doing. So it catches.
Too is, yeah.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Another thing is this: once you get this 30-second commercial worked out, it's good for a lot of things. It's good for the core of your marketing message. It's good for networking events. If you've ever been walked up to and somebody says, "Well, what do you do?" and you've blubbered your way through it and gone, "Oh, that was no good," here's the answer right here.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's something that you really have to work out. I mean, you got to be able in a minute tell somebody what it is that you do.
Right.
And that's really kind of what a lot of this training and stuff is about, is that type of a thing. So yeah.
I think there's so much in this training. I mean, if you read the testimonials, you'll constantly see it's about over delivering. And well, Brad, you've been in there. You could go in there for 2 days, right?
Oh,
and, there's webinars in there. There's interviews that I've done. There's lots of other video content in there. PDF report. It's just a lot of things in there.
Well, yeah, you've got some stuff in there from some other people, which was excellent too. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in there, and well worth it. I mean, definitely some of the best sales training I've had, and I really appreciate that. And I've learned from some of the best, Zig Ziglar and Tom Hopkins, and this was some fantastic stuff. It was really what I needed at the time, and I think that's part of it too. You can go to Tom Hopkins and Zig Ziglar and all that sort of stuff, but it's an education. It's an ongoing process. You don't ever. I don't think you ever get to the point where oh gosh, I don't need any more training. I got this. It's like just refreshing that, because you can get yourself into a rut, and a lot of times you get yourself into a negative rut and you don't realize it, and just getting that fresh look at it again, it's like, oh, was I doing that? Yeah, okay, no wonder that my sales are dropping off. You got to look at what you're doing, and you got to be refreshed about what you're doing. So that's really been for me kind of what what this has done. It's been great for me, and like I said, it's definitely helping me. That's for sure. So that 10% commit.
I'm constantly meeting and talking with other sales trainers and reading stuff and writing stuff, and all selling is actually up here between your ears.
Absolutely.
That's where it is. Yeah. It's not out there. It's not in some magic bullet or script or something like that. Those things will help you. But the mindset and your self-esteem are the big things that will carry you along. And if you can take care of those, the rest of it will really fall in line nicely.
All right, looks like we're done with the questions. And everybody, thanks for being on the call tonight. We had a good group tonight. Appreciate it. And Jason, thank you so much for the information that you leaked out to us here tonight, and just for that special pricing.
Yeah.
No, I know that. I mean, I really hope that everybody understands, what you've done for us tonight. I mean, and the special offer, man. I mean, It's great. I'm getting a lot of thank you guys. Great job. Learned a lot. So yeah, got a lot of appreciation here. So definitely, definitely appreciate it a lot, Jason, and look forward to hearing back from some of you guys. How you put some of this into practice. And just as a little side note here, one of the things that that I do as far as those 2 hours of calling, I do use phoneburner.com. That's something I do. The cool thing about PhoneBurner is it gets me to the next call quicker. Once I'm finished with the phone call, it gets me on the next call quicker. So I'm actually able to take in that hour time and call a lot more people to get through the no answers and the all the stuff that I go through. If anybody's interested in phoneburner.com, I've got a way to. It's normally $150 for unlimited calling, and I actually have a way to get it for $99. So just PM me or shoot me a Skype or an email, and we can talk about that. But that's really what I use PhoneBurner for. Is just it's just that taking the time to sit there and look up the number and then dial it and go through that process. With the PhoneBurner, I can actually in an hour's time call almost twice as many people because, like you said, half of them aren't going to be there. Half of the people that you talk to can't talk right then, and so using some form of a dialing system, that can really help. So if that would help anybody, and anybody wants to take a look at that, it's not. I don't make anything on it. It's just like I've got a way to get it cheaper if that's something that you want to try. So, did you want to make any comments on the dialing system? I mean, have you used it? What do you?
I haven't, but I believe in them. I just
yeah.
Lately, my executive job these days is with a big franchise company, right? So I don't.
Yes, I know that. Yeah.
As much calling as I did.
Right.
We're number 521 on Inc. Magazine's Top 1000 this year. Woo! We beat out Odesk. We're at Odesk, so I was pretty excited about that.
Cool. Okay. All right. So let's see if there's any other questions here. Let's see. Nope. Just some more thank yous. So. All right, well, Jason, we'll end with that, and certainly appreciate your time. Go get some sleep, feel better, and yeah, guys, he stayed home from work sick today, so I really appreciate that, Jason, that you still came out and met with us and took the time for that. So I was asking, what are your thoughts on auto dialers? I guess well, that's kind of what PhoneBurner does.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you're talking about like what Mark Helton does, and by the way, he'll be coming to talk about that here. I think it's next week on our webinars. But calling and leaving voice messages, that's kind of a totally different thing. I don't know that this script would really work for that.
Yeah, I don't recommend leaving them. Right.
That's.
I recommend is, Brad, this is Jason Kanigan. A quick question for you about your business. It's 10 o'clock out here on the East Coast. I'll be in my office until noon. Here's my number, blah, blah, blah. And that's it. And 2/3 of the time, out of curiosity, they call you back. And then they're going to say, what's this about, Jason? Okay. And that's a good time to have your 30-second commercial ready. And you can start.
Oh my gosh, guys, that was another gem that you just got given to you as we're getting ready to say goodbye. That's a great voice message. I love it. That's fantastic. But yeah, the PhoneBurner, all it does is when you load in the database, names and phone numbers and that sort of thing, into the PhoneBurner, and then when you are done with the call, you tag it, not interested, person wasn't available, bad number, not interested, don't call back, whatever. You tag it. The second you click that, it's automatically dialing the next number for you. And so it just allows you to make a lot more phone calls. As opposed to, okay, we're done now, and you hang up the phone, and you pick it back up, and you dial the number, you look at the number, and you dial what was that, and you look several times to get the number, you finally get the number in, and now you're ready to start calling. And Oh, back in the day when I worked at a telemarketing company, and we'll finish with this as a funny story, I actually saw this done. The telemarketing manager, excuse me, he was the owner of the company, but he was also the telemarketing manager. And he had this kid, you were told the rules of the business, you did not put your phone down on the hook. Okay, you kept the phone in your hand, you push the button down, and then you dial the next number, because it's all about numbers, all about numbers, all about numbers. Well, he had told this kid, I don't know how many times, don't hang up that phone. Keep it in your hand and click down the receiver. Finally, he got so mad at this kid, I could not believe he did this. And today he probably would have been sued, lost his company. He literally took the phone, put it up to the kid's ear, and he wrapped gray duct tape around his head so that the phone was attached to the kid's ear. Now, that goes back a while. That was back in the day. But so that's the concept of the phone burner. It tapes that phone to your ear so you can just keep right on going, you know. And it really does allow me to make a lot more phone calls. Let's see if we got any. Let's see. Yeah, the recorded voice blasters. I know Mark Helton does a great job with those, and does a great job with that. And in fact, I'm going to be doing that here this week. So I mean, yeah, it's a totally different type of thing, and you know, Mark will speak to that. I think you know, this is like I said, guys. This got me into a national firm, a regional firm, and 2 local firms in a week. So. Yeah, this really cuts through the tape and gets through to it. So that's
confidently be able to talk to people and quickly find out whether there's somebody you should spend time with or not. This is for you.
Yeah, okay. She was whoever this is. Who was saying this? Oh, Brian. Brian was saying that he's had some negative feedback when he was doing sales calls, so he just uses it now for survey or just leaving information. And yeah, I mean, you know, that little caveat that he just zinged out there. You know, hey, this is Jason. You know, it's 10 o'clock. I was calling from the, you know, East Coast. I had a question about your business. Give me a call. Man, that was gold. That really was. That was worth the price of admission, Jason. So it's just so many things you've shared with us tonight have just been great. So with that, I think I know we've gone over, but we just really have had such a great time tonight, and a lot of people I think got a lot of good knowledge here tonight, and definitely you know, take a look at what Jason's offering, because you won't find it. Well, you can see the affiliate links. That's his normal price for the stuff that you're getting tonight. A lot cheaper than that. So appreciate it, Jason. Thank you so much. Y'all have a good night.
Thanks, everybody.